Life is a journey full of connections. You're in safe hands even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
At Subway, every day is delicious. Get a different 6-inch sub each day made fresh with your favorite ingredients for 7 florins and 20 cents, just $4. Enjoy one today. Subway, eat fresh.
I know you're enjoying yourself, but there's so much more to come. We have Miss Tatiana Arundel of the UP Party asking you for her vote. Let's see if she convinces you with this hearty interview.
First of all, my name is Tatiana Arundel, mother of 3, 2 girls, 1 boy. Their ages are 14, 11, and the boy is 9. And I'm candidate number 13 on the UP list. And first of all, let me thank you for the opportunity to be here.
My next question, of course, we're going to delve right into it, is why the parliamentary election? Why now have you postulated yourself to be in the foreground?
Well, I have been very close to politics since 2010. 2011, I worked within the cabinet when Theo Heiliger was the first minister within VROMI and deputy prime minister. And so I've watched him. I've kind of learned the ropes and learned the organization as a civil servant. I was able to apply what I knew as a civil servant and working in the cabinet, how I can actually process things faster and how I can get things done for the people of St. Martin. For me, 6 governments in 6 years, it was like enough is enough. And I decided I could no longer sit in the back office and advise my colleagues or, and watch them go through. I think I had to come to the forefront and bring my knowledge and my experiences to the table and, kind of work for a better St. Martin for my kids as well. It's too often we kind of look and wait and let others determine the St. Martin that our kids will inherit. And like I said, I could no longer feel comfortable just doing that. It's a path that I have chosen, and I decided to grow into it. And when the time is ready, which is now, I postulated myself.
You mentioned enough is enough. Are you really confident in the UP party that things can definitely change now? We will no longer see what we've been seeing in the past.
Well, one thing with the United People's Party, we don't do things without planning. Our leader, he's a man of vision, and I think you've heard that so many times before. But working closely with him, I can actually testify to that, and one thing working with him, he's always instilled in his staff members, which is the power of the 5 P's. He believes in the P, which is that proper planning prevents poor performance. And as a single mom, to run a household with 3 kids that are growing and have other activities besides school, planning is what makes me run my household. And I think with that knowledge and with that experience, again, combined with what I've learned with I think some of the greatest minds that I've worked with on St. Martin, and I'm not only talking about the Theo Heiligers and the Frankie Myers, I'm also talking about Venda Baker and Joan Dovali Meid and some powerful women. I've even worked closely with Gracita, Cassandra Janssen, some great people. And I think with that knowledge, again, what I can do for the country is awesome.
You were raised up between South Reward and another portion of your years are in Cul-de-sac. I know you said a Cul-de-sac basin. Why do you think those people would vote for you in those districts?
Well, growing up in South Reward, for me it's a little different because most people don't know I was actually born in Holland. So when I moved here with my family in '84, myself, my brother, we couldn't even speak English. So it was from school friends, it was from the neighbors that we learned to speak English. So South Reward for me it will always have my heart. It will always be close to my heart. I remember us going down the road and buying bread for a Gilda by Miss Keturah. And you knew everyone. We lived opposite Anne and Andy's nursery, which was one of the biggest and best nurseries at that time, daycares. And it was just a family setting. My mom worked there as a secretary, so after school we would just go there, we would eat there, play there, help with the kids, and we knew every neighbor. And it wasn't just your next door neighbor, you knew the one that was living across the street in the next alley, down the road, down the hill, And then, of course, when we moved not so far from here to Cul-de-sac, it was the same thing. We had... my grandmother lives close by, my uncle, my aunts, another uncle, another aunt. So it was always, I was always blessed to have a unit around me, a support system, and I think, especially in South Reward, they've seen me growing up because when I moved to Cul-de-sac, I was like 14, 15. So I spent most of my teenage day, well, not even, because I left St. Martin when I was 17. So South Reward is my home. But they've seen me growing up, and my mom, she was always a woman after a woman's heart. She helped many women in South Reward. Like, our house was never empty. She's helped women through cancer. She's helped women that had, single moms that had no meals for their kids. I remember we had one lady that had a child with special needs, and and my mom, she was there. She helped these women through their situations. And I guess that's where, too, I inherit the passion for women, the empowerment of women.
I have to ask, you mentioned family, you've mentioned tourism, women, and all those good topics that I see that you're so very passionate about, and I'm happy to hear that. How do you expect to table these things now on the floor of Parliament?
Well, first of all, I think we need to go through what's there. Because I think we have a lot of things in place that we just need to revise. Sometimes it's not about recreating the wheel, it's just about maybe changing the tires. And so that's one of the things that we need to do. Assess, see where we're at, and then make the necessary changes, make the necessary amendments. Another thing we can do is look at Aruba. Look at Curacao, what works there, what can we bring over here? Because, again, sometimes things take too long because we try to recreate. We try to recreate a system that maybe isn't working anymore, but we just need to tweak it, So that's that's the first thing that I would do in Parliament. And then, of course, keep my promises, which is that Cape Bay mess there in the power plant. I think that our environment is counting on us to really do something about that. The residents are counting on us to do something about that. And we live in a world of sustainable energy. So, again, we just need to look around. And that's why I believe that we need the new faces in government. We need the new faces in Parliament because we know how to Google. We know how to do the research, And so you got to have a good balance, a good balance of the old, a good balance of the new. And but again, I think because I am a civil servant, I can bring a lot more to the table. I can really hit the ground running.
How important do you think it is that the people of St. Martin, sometimes they hear elections is coming, they don't really understand the difference between the parliamentary elections and so forth. How do you think this can change, maybe to be developed in the schools so that they can better understand it, is all I'm saying. What do you think about that?
No, you have to bring the politics back into the educational system. I remember when we were when we were younger, many years ago, we learn about politics. We had to know who was in power. We had to know. Well, at that time it was the Trias Politicas, and sadly enough, what's happening now is and sometimes they do get it in school because I've seen the homework come. But what happens is sometimes they study for a test, and for instance, let's say Theo Heiliger was prime minister, and by next week it's William Allen. So even that, this is the stability has to be there in order for us to bring it back to the schools and bring it effective. My name is Tatiana Arundel, candidate number 13 on the UP slate. Why you should vote for me? I would ask you this. Why not? What I bring to the table is experience. What I bring to the table is knowledge. What I bring to the table is, first of all, a mother. I'm a mother. And the way I run my home as a single parent is the way I will run this country. I will run this country with a heart of compassion. I will run this country with a heart for the people. Yes. And I promise to stay focused. I promise to, like I mentioned before, have a heart for the people. For too long, St. Martin has suffered because it is no longer about country, but it became about I. And I, being your candidate, I will change that. I understand the struggles that you face. I have listened to you. I have met with you, and I plan to really work hard for you. No longer will our elders have to wonder where the next meal is coming from. No longer will parents have to decide or whether to keep the lights on or feed the children. You will be able to do the both. And I believe in bringing prosperity to all, and I believe in bringing sustainability and stability back to this island.
Access Your Vote will continue next week with Romain Laville of the US Party and Rene Violinas of the National Alliance Party. You know what we always say, stay tuned in, we'll give you all access.
Gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, boys and girls, this is what you have been waiting on. Let's go!
All access, all access, all access with Audrey Jack. All access, all access, all access with Audrey Jack. All access, all access, all access with Audrey Jack. All access, all access, all access with Audrey Jack.
Hey yo, stop, freeze, nobody move. Drop the remote, keep your eyes on the tools. It's all access with you know who, but if you acting like you don't, let me explain to you. Her name is Audrey Jack, and the show is more than all that. Keep you up to date and on track on what's going on in the front and